What's up, everybody? We have a special guest for the Blue Collar Boardroom. This is a man, Daniel Joseph. Only a few years ago, he was a subcontractor. Now he is killing the game on the way, 8 and 9 figures, savage grind, open in multiple locations. Definitely been a supporter of the movement from the very beginning. I've been a supporter of his. He's got all kinds of things working for him, podcast, Savage Grind podcast. My man Daniel, what's up, buddy? How you doing, bro?
What's up, Big Lee Dog, man? It's an honor and a pleasure to be on your show, man. We're kind of doing a joint show here. I'm kind of plugging mine in the background. Having you, being with you, knowing you, I've been following you for the past 5 years, and the impact you've made on the space has just been tremendous value for me and my team, and then trying to reconnect again and getting back on the Sky Diamonds University, making that happen for the team. I love it, man. I'm honored. We're ready to get this rocket to the moon.
Well, you've scaled, man, from the beginning. I mean, you only had it was you and your wife, and now there's 32 of y'all.
32. And we're actively hiring right now. We got multiple locations. We got all based in South Chicago, North Chicago, and we just launched Indiana 2 weeks ago. So Indiana, we're scaling Indiana right now.
One thing I would like contractors to notice is a part of Daniel's story that many times maybe people overlook. It's that, he was attending these events. He was going to live events much before he got his sales momentum. So when you were first going to these live events, where were you at? And talk to people maybe that are watching this, maybe scared to go to an event, or contractors that think they're going to lose money getting away from their book of business going to an event. I know you spent a lot of money early on in your career.
Always. There's power in proximity, man. And I've learned that, through reading books. 4 years ago, I started deep into self-development. I just know I wanted more for my family. I wanted more. I was rock bottom probably about 8 years ago. And then through that journey, growing, I knew that I couldn't do it by myself. And how can I collapse time, right? So I look at every book that I devour and consume, like they're part of my arsenal. They're part of my team. That's part of my army, right? So man's my Grant Cardone, Earl Nightingale. We got all these books and authors that just brought value to me, and I consider them part of my team now. Right. So right now we're reading a book in the book club for Robert Kiyosaki. Rich Dad Poor Dad was actually one of the first books I've read. First book that I've read as a grown adult from cover to cover that really just changed my mindset of how money works, what money is, and how it is. And it just shook me to my core. Like, man, everything that I learned has been wrong. Right. And it's like, how can I make this right? And I don't got time. So for me, it's just like, how fast can I learn, and how fast can I just take action, and I'm learning on the way, and I'm trying to do calculated risk versus just going all in, not knowing what I'm doing. So everything that I've done has just been very precise, right? I'm just learning.
Walk us through 8 years ago when you were at rock bottom, and how talk to me a little bit about what that was for you.
Oh man, when you think it's the worst time of your life, it's, I was fresh off a divorce, caught a DUI right after that. And that was I was partly switching back and forth from being a solopreneur and the union. Those of you that are familiar with union, they frown upon you going out on your own. So they really don't allow you to go out and go into that. But I was just pretty much lost my union gig, ended up, living in my sister's basement, looking up at the ceiling, like, how did I end up here, right? I was making great money as a union carpenter, and never did I think it was going to end the way it did. But I knew I had to pick myself up, and I took it as an opportunity. I had tools, I had equipment, I had this vast knowledge for carpentry, and I was like, how can I make some money? So I was like, well, let me just start talking to people and see who I can service, who could be of value to. And then, of course, I always trust friends and family, always first. Hey, what's going on with your house? How can I help you? Put in a window, do some siding repairs, some roof patchwork, and just slowly built that into a nice 7-figure subcontracting business. I scaled that with 7 crews, siding and roofing and gutters, and I was doing really well. But I know I wanted more even at that point, right? It wasn't enough, and so I decided to deep dive into sales. And watching your content, my man Grant Cardone's content, Brian Tracy, just kind of absorbing different people that are in sales. And I was like, man, if I really got to get to the next level, I got to learn the sales game. And I took a leap of faith, and I was already making great money as a sub, but I knew in order for me to break through that pinnacle, I had to level up. And through my leveling up, it came through all through self-development, and just projecting the future, like just forecasting that, hey, I'm going to be here and this is what I want to do, and just moving with extreme confidence that I knew I was going to get there no matter what I did. And I wanted to do it different, right? I came up, with this name that it's actually my dad that actually came up with the name. But anyways, my old man is the one that came up with the name Savage, because my old man is actually retired from the railroad, and he would come help us do some side work, and he was just like, man, you guys need to slow down. You're working like some savages. And my dad was just trying to get some off the track betting money, and the name just stuck. And I was like, man, I got to do something with that. Made a hat, Savage Grind, and man, it just took off. We love it. It's just, disrupting the space, being different, being bold, and just trying to stand out. But yeah, it's been a long road to where I'm at now.
Talk to me when you were first selling your first job as a door-to-door salesman. You had to be a little uncomfortable as a subcontractor, and you're now in the streets knocking doors. Talk to me about your first door-to-door, where you started to really transition, leading the pack as a door-to-door guy yourself, and then building a door-to-door team.
So for me, door-to-door was never an issue because, man, I used to sell newspaper as a kid. When I was about 11, 12 years old, I was knocking on doors selling Chicago Tribune and Sun-Times in a low-income neighborhood. So people that probably didn't even know how to read, I'm trying to sell newspapers too. So it was a lot of objections. And yeah, true. So we were trying to sell those subscriptions. So door-to-door for me just started really when I was doing my subcontract work and then working on a house and just asking the neighbors, like, hey, I'm here already working on your neighbor's house, Mrs. Jones here. I'm already set up. I got my equipment here. I can give you a deal. Just I noticed that you needed your windows capped or you needed some siding repair. I can give you a deal, give you a half off if you let me just start your job. And that's kind of like how my slowly progressed into door-to-door. But when I had to sell is really when I started my journey in storm restorations, right? So storm restorations would really change my life. And I just knew if I was going to scale the team, I wanted to be able to have those bragging rights. So I knew my first year in storm restoration that I was just going to devour door-to-door. I didn't give a crap what any objection was. I was just going to do it. And I was knocking doors in the dead of winter, just like it is right now in Chicago. It's 20 degrees outside. But when I started in 2019, I was knocking doors dead of winter saying, hey, you got damage up there. Let's get the ball rolling. I can help you with your claim. The insurance company is not here to service you. You need someone on your side, and I'm the guy to represent you. So I was just doing door-to-door like that. And I was the only sales guy in my business. I had my partner now, Diego, who's my brother-in-law, but he was still working a full-time job. And I was kind of mentoring him through the process, how to do door-to-door. And I think that's what actually built me up, because I was learning myself, but I actually training someone too as well. So that made me kind of level up my skill, level up on my education, and level up on my seeking and knowing how to perfect my craft on my pitch and my door-to-door, because I had to teach someone else as well. And that first year in business, I did at the end of the year, It was 1.7 million in sales by myself. And I was like, look, man, I'm taking all this money and we're going to go hard and savage grind. I took every penny I ever made. I worked 365 days. I'm not proud of some of the stuff I had to do. Like my wife and I, my youngest son, Luke, I had to go to the hospital, cut the umbilical cord, and leave to go close a deal. But those are the decisions you have to make when you're laser focused in your business and you know it's going to grow. You make those decisions, but I'm not proud of it.
But you're
But
starting
it's what we
something
had to
big.
do.
Look what you're doing now, man.
Yeah, now we scaled to 33 plus salesmen in our organization, and I'm in my second phase of scaling to get to 50 in the next 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. Getting to 50 salesmen before the season starts, and then we're gonna slowly progress the sales force and see how the back end handles it, and we're gonna start scaling the back end as well.
Yeah, and so that brings me to an important point. As a company begins to scale, people end up, really my hardest part is firing people. I mean, holding the line. Sometimes being the bad guy is the hardest part. You want to save everybody. You want to. So, can you talk to me about, a lot of times guys are afraid of scaling because they're not good at firing people. They're not good at managing people. What have you learned and what's been helpful for you as you scaled?
So for me, scaling's been pretty easy for me because I was used to scaling a subcontracting crews.
Right.
And to me, that's a little bit of abrasive space, where blue collar guys, we're roughnecks, and so you could talk tough. And I love construction. It's my passion. I love taking something that looks like crap and seeing it renewed and beautified and saying like, hey, look, that's what I did. So that's something that I cherish in this space, being able to do that. But I was used to scaling the subcontracting side. So I just took that, and it's just communication and building. And for me, in the storm restoration market, at the beginning of last year, I scaled and just kind of took the mindset that, hey, people are going to fall off on their own, right? If they're not fit for the team, they're not fit for their culture, they're going to fall off. But this year, I've taken a different approach, and we're actually just doing a better process of vetting salespeople, right? So I do a strict 21 questions when I do we kind of funnel them on the front end, as we're doing our ads for them through multiple platforms. And then when I get them in face to face, I do all my interviews face to face, and then I put them through my questions, and I just vet them better. I want better people. I'm not trying to start with people that are on the bottom of the barrel. I want them to have some aspirations, some goals already set in their life. They're trying to do better for their family. Certain situations make good door-to-door people. And I'm just looking for those right people to fill the role. And then I can pour my process, my culture, my grit in there and just make them savage, and get them paid. Right. So that's been the new formula for us at Savage. And it's been phenomenal. It's dead of winter. And we got 33 beasts ready to just devour this
all of
season.
them at the sales meeting in the offices today, participating, excited,
yeah.
having fire pitches. Your team was on fire today, and I really was honored. It got me fired up. I don't know if you saw, but I was pumped delivering that message to a group of people that are that hungry for growth in the wintertime. That's inspiring. It warmed me up all the way down here in Naples, Florida, dog. So, big thing I want to tell you is I've seen so much improvement, and it's from the books you read, it's from the conferences, it's from the coaching, and I know you've spent a lot of money. So, I mean, a lot of money. I've spent $500,000 on coaching, and it's almost, in the beginning, a hard pill to swallow. So, can you talk to them about how you've had to invest into coaching, and it's been a part of scaling, and how sometimes it is challenging, but, what you've been able to do with that?
I mean, there's a couple of different ways you could look at it, right? Most people, the traditional way is going to college. That's an investment most people are willing to make, is $40, $50, $60,000, whatever your craft or niche you're trying to get educated on. And people don't have problems going into debt for that, right? Um, so this is kind of the same way, right? You know, you're making an investment in yourself. Um, you could look at it as like, you know, you're going to college, but you're developing yourself and skills through other people that have been where you want to be. That's one angle to look at it. But honestly, for me personally, man, bro, I just been broke and I'm not afraid to go broke. So if I get any kind of money in my pocket, I dump it all back into my brand because I believe it that much. I'm that much convicted on my brand, what I'm doing, that I know it's going to succeed. So if I dump 100 grand in self-development in my business, I know I'm going to get it in tenfold. It might not be tomorrow, it might not be this year, but I know I'm going to get it back. And I'm that convinced in what I'm doing. I'm that motivated and I'm that passionate about everything I do. I continue to dump every bit of my profits back into my business. I take a regular paycheck and I serve my business every single day. And most owners cannot do that
No,
because I
you're
ain't
right.
afraid to be broke
Mm,
again. I
mm,
ain't. I can
that
go back and lose it all. And guess what? I learned how to get to where I'm at and I could do it all over again.
And this is the
And
man
I
in the
am.
arena. This man right here is a man in the arena. And I want you to know
Mhm.
one thing. I understand it's scary to bring on expenses. It's scary to have to manage more people. It's scary to handle more projects and you don't have the workers and you're worried about quality. All right. Let me tell you about the fight that all the contractors in America and the American dream, it's for those for the taking, for those who have the attitude like Daniel. I'm gonna be real with you. If you're one of the guys that have a hard time
Mhm.
grasping that concept, I might not be the guy for you because I don't
Mhm.
believe you can actually make the breakthrough without that all-in commitment. And see what
Mhm.
Daniel's doing, he's getting rich or die trying. It's like 50 Cent. And beyond
Hell
that,
yeah.
beyond that,
Mhm.
bro, you have confidence in yourself because you've been there and you've always delivered. It's like a cat. Once you land on your feet 8 times, who cares if they throw you up in the air? I mean, the
Yeah.
deal is you know you're going to land on your feet, and so that, you know what it is. It's your skill set. Your skill set keeps to invest, and you know Warren Buffett. He says that the best investment is into yourself, into your business. And so you know you look at roofers, contractors buying trucks, RVs, paying for big vacations, even drinking a lot. I mean, they're pouring down what could be pouring in. And look, I really, really have seen massive growth in your ability to communicate, ability to recruit, hire, and train. Your business has massively grown. Talk to us about like what your projects were in 2020, what your goal is for 2021, what you think you're going to add to the equation this year.
The equation this year, you know, what's helped us at the beginning of this season has been solar. We added a whole solar division to our company. It's created that fun buzz. It's something new. It's something different. We got guys that are coming in excited to learn about it. I have my veterans that stuck with me through COVID. You know, still made six figures. I was happy to pay them off. And coming into 2021, they're like, "Look, we're gonna kill it with solar." And we're just devouring that content, how to sell it, how to pitch it, how to offer it, how to do the presentation. So that's been continual learning for all my sales guys. That's been fun. But man, this year it's just going to be nuts because I'm scaling with more people and I'm training them all not to be money hungry, but to be service hungry. Like I want them to come from a space of humility, and that's something that's unique. That's not something you see in our space very often, and it's something that I've been like refreshing to see in the solar space, the solar, the alarm, that space of door to door. It's a different sales process. It's a different sales person, and I think by connecting the grit and fortitude and not giving up attitude from a roof salesman and coupling it with how the process of a solar or alarm salesman do it, it's a little bit more white collar. I think we've been able to integrate something very special and unique that's new to the industry. It's something that we're all excited about, and it's not been done before. And I'm glad to take on the new task. So it's new energy that I'm building within myself, and we're taking it, well far and beyond this year. My goal for this year is 25 million. Last year's goal was 5 million, and we devoured that and did 8.9 million in sales last year. And I've been in business 2 years. We've been able to collectively done 8 figures in business in 2 years in the storm restoration market. And last year I was just upset, after I hit my goal in November, not even, it was mid-October. And I was like, man, we already did 5 million. What I shot too low. I should have shot for 10. I would have hit 10. That's why this year is immense growth. I want 25 this year. And I have no doubt in my mind that we're going to hit that this year.
Bro, you are on fire. And there's one thing I can tell you. It's that I am humbled to share this space with you. You have evolved as a communicator, and you can communicate with the best. I'm so excited to have you at this upcoming event in Miami. It's going to be off the chain, and we're going to be going over commercial sales. I want to talk about that because really Chicago's hot for it. And if you want to hit 25 million, this is what you have to do. We talked about it today during the call. You got to go find that smaller commercial deal that you can get directly to the individual owner on. Maybe that guy owns an auto shop. Maybe that guy or gal owns a daycare or a small apartment complex. And right now, those people, they will love to hear about the added value, and they would love to have an insurance pro at their side. And right now, with all that energy, that hungry energy of sales, and if you could get the potential of what I call hitting the blue collar lottery, getting these commercial deals, you do what we did with Joe Drew over there. I went into his office. They got around me in a circle. We called 7 numbers. On the 7th number, we hit a lick. We went out, got on an 800 square roof. That roof's still in play. It's in litigation. It still might get bought, but a lot of other roofs got sold around that roof. And my point is that, you're only one big deal away from 1 million at a time, 2 million at a time. They may take a little while, but it's really, really important that, in diving in, that we execute. If you want to hit 25 million, this focus on not just selling more roofs and hiring more people, but selling more expensive roofs. And these same roofs have solar, and the money that you can save a commercial business owner is tremendous. The tax benefits are tremendous. We have a $12 million solar project that we're working on. I also implemented solar last year, and had a lot of storm damage, and we can do a lot better job of bringing more solar stuff into what we're doing. But the truth is that, we brought in a guy that worked with Solar City. He built out some training. We added it to the university. Now we got the best solar training too. So, I'm gonna have that. Make sure that you have access to that, and I'm very excited that y'all are gonna hit your $20 million with us. So, woo boy, I'm telling you, man. So man,
we have some taste of commercial last year. We signed up about 8 commercial deals, some ranging from the low 6 figures to one right now we got up to 7 figures right now that we're real close to closing on. So it's been amazing, added to our business, and it's sales on steroids, and it's literally what it is. And we love it. Now I have a dedicated 3 salesmen that are just hyper focused on getting those commercial deals. And we're anxious to dive into your content and see what we could do to build that out for ourselves and just add that to another arsenal, another arrow that we could shoot that we can offer for our clients, because it's all about service.
That's right,
so
baby. That's right. And servicing a commercial business owner by getting snow off the roof or fixing a leak that leads to a full roof replacement in the spring, it is about service and service agreements. And, the one thing I want to talk about is being in service to the most important person in my life, which is, of course, my wife. And one thing this year my wife has done, she really kind of stepped up as a chief operating officer of my company with me doing more coaching, doing more content, having an event. And in the 4th quarter of last year, I went and chased a bunch of hurricanes. I'm sure you saw me. And I was on the road a lot. But the truth is that somebody has to be in that role. And so my wife is in an overseeing role of all the relationships and employees. She's a part of the hiring board. And it's sometimes challenging, and of course we've been working together for a long time. Can you talk to me a little bit about working with your wife, how you've been able to mix business, family, how you've been able to have happiness while you do that?
Shout out to all the beautiful women doing business, man. It's just been amazing. My wife is, I can't take anything from my wife. She's her own beast. She's her own entity. She's been a blessing to me since day one. she's really been my advocate, my number one supporter. She's been there from when the cars got repossessed. She's been there when the credit card's been overdue. She's been there when I had $1 in my bank account, and that's the only dollar I could get to fill up my gas tank. Right? She's been there through it all, and the thick and the thin of me. And she says the same thing I said. She's like, let's do it. Let's go for it. Let's go for gold, because there's no half stepping. And it's been a tremendous value to me to find I call her my sniper, man. She sees what I don't see. She's there behind the scenes, looking and seeing and always watching, and she has the business's best interest in mind. And mind you, we have 3 children under the age of 4. She's not only a full-time mom, she's a full-time CEO, business owner. She has all the credentials that I have, and she's now going to get her real estate broker's license as we speak, and she's always evolving as a person. Mind you, she has her own bachelor's in the degree. I pulled her from a 6-figure job to come join me, right? In her own right, she's already educated.
That's a salesman right there.
It took me 3 diamond rings to close her. So
there you go.
I got it done. And I always say, I was like, you're beautiful and you're smart, but I'm smarter because I married you, baby.
There you go.
Because I got her. She's been a blessing, and I'm very, very honored to have her. Her business her birthday just passed yesterday, and I took her on a shopping spree. I got her red bottoms and the things that she likes, and like that's my cheat code, man. I figured that out real early on. You take care of her on the front end, and then you'll be okay on the back end.
There you go.
Talk to me about
opening a new location, man. So you've been primarily in Chicago, but now you open a new location. Now you get in a different state. So talk to me about doing that and expansion into a new state and a new location for the first time.
I just made a decision, and I just pulled the trigger, man. So we're in Indiana. Indiana's, it's a hour and 15-minute drive from where we're essentially located. We have Joliet is our main hub, Joliet, Illinois, which is 45 miles south of Chicagoland. My wife and I live in Skokie, Evanston area right now. So we have a couple of salespeople that work the Skokie North area, which is a little bit more high-end neighborhoods. You're going to see the slates, the tile roofs. And so I love that market because it's more retail, and there's really not that many stormers, but we had a storm out that way, and it was just perfect right in our backyard. So going to Indiana was just a no-brainer to me because I had a couple salesmen that are already living in Indiana, but we're working in Chicago, and I was like, hey, man, you guys crush it this year. I'm opening up an office. So it was just like a no-brainer for me to do the office, and we got it up and running within 3 weeks, and painted it, got it filled out, designed, operating. We got 10 sales guys there now and 2 admins working that office, and we're not stopping it. It's been great because I've been able to show my fast track to director into having your own location. So I think that has been the vital part of it. Like, hey, we have a process for growth in our company. Here's a prime example. It could be you. So it really sells and buys into the commitment.
A roadmap. You have to give people a place to grow where they go. And, being able to do that creates an ecosystem and a community of people to rise up. And
absolutely,
I cannot believe how much you have expanded on since the beginning we met. And if you're watching this and you're stuck with a hammer, or you're working on a job, or maybe you're a subcontractor, look, once you start changing your belief systems, once you start changing your patterns, and go back to this. I mean, Daniel said that his first book was Robert Kiyosaki, that he went a lifetime without reading. And it's okay if you don't like to read, but taking the time to read, I mean, this is really going to be the foundation. What do you think that's done for you? I mean, even over all the ways to consume content.
Book is phenomenal. I love reading now. I'm a slow reader still to this day, but I just think that I read with a better process now. So I have a way to read where I'll skim through my read. I'll go and get the Audible. I'll listen to the Audible. I'll go back to the book, and I'll be an active participant in reading, with taking notes, highlighting the book. That way I can really absorb the content. I developed my own planner because I love taking notes. I have a Savage Grind planner. Anybody that's listening to this podcast today, you want a Savage Grind planner, you want to start mapping your roadmap to success, hit me up. I'll give you one free. I wrote
How
my
can they get
own
a hold
book
of you?
from everything on Savage Grind. We're on Savage Grind everywhere, on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, anywhere. Best way to get a hold of me is on Facebook and Messenger. Send me a DM and I'll send you a planner. I have a book, From Average to Savage, that I wrote, and really telling my story, of being, broke in obscurity, and now we're living a life of prosperity. So I think it's all been about the books, and that's just a way for me to give back, right? And I really believe in what we're doing, and I want to share my story because I want to inspire other people that are stuck in the rut, right? Especially right now, right? Especially through this pandemic, where people are losing their jobs, they're losing hope, they're losing faith, and like I want to be that vision and that light and that hope for people that are struggling right now. Read my book, go get a planner, go start writing your goal. I was a thug. I was that person that was out there not doing right, but I changed my life around through self-development, through purpose, through having Christ on my side, and believing that I can move with extreme confidence because I know I can walk in his footsteps and he's got my back.
And that, my friend, is what it's all about. Extreme confidence backed by a higher power and
Absolutely
actions doing the next right thing. Man, if I could drop a bomb right now, I would.
Yeah, baby.
Man, dog. Yeah. So here's the thing. If you're watching this episode and you want a planner, you can find Daniel on YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram. Mm-hmm. He's looking for good people in the Midwest, project managers, salespeople, solar, roofing. You got to hit this guy up, man. He wants to mentor you, wants to get you plugged in. And, if you're a subcontractor or somebody that's out there working, just realize you're only one book away. You're only one personal development coach away. You're only one conference away. And I want to invite you to the Blue Collar American Dream Conference. It's coming up March 12th and 13th.
I'll be there.
Daniel will be there. And
I can't wait to meet up with my man, Brian Hess.
Yeah, that dude, he's a beast. Dude, he's a beast. He's going to be talking
Brian
about
Hess. Yeah, Max Out with Ed Milet. That dude's another piece, another book that I've read. I can't wait to get there, man.
Myron Golden, dude, I'm gonna tell you something. He's the hidden gem. He's like one of my favorite, if not favorite, sales coaches. And then we got Brad Lee filling up the lineup list. But beyond that, we've got a lot of elite contractors like Daniel that you can network with. I'd say that the smartest conversations might be in the crowd. And there's from all different home service contracting industries: roofers, solars, remodelers, window guys, inside guys, builders, electricians, swimming pool guys, all the different groups. And they're coming, Daniel, because they want the same thing you wanted from me a long time ago. He's like, man, show me how to sell on Facebook like you do.
Yeah.
And we're gonna get there. We're gonna get you up to speed. I know that you can do it. You did all the rest of this stuff. This is just the next step, brother. And I can't wait to have you a You're already a social sales king, but we're gonna take it 10x. But hey, man, great podcast. We're signing out here, guys. Subscribe, get notifications. Follow my man, and we appreciate you watching this.
Everything on Savage Grind everywhere. And like I always say, man, don't be average. Go be savage today. I love y'all.
Yeah, never settle. There we go.